How to scientifically lose body fat. Imagine placing two groups of people inside a laboratory for an entire month. Every meal is provided. Every snack is recorded. Researchers know what the participants eat, how much energy they expend, and exactly how their weight changes. One group receives mostly unprocessed foods. The other receives ultra-processed foods. The meals offered to both groups are designed to contain similar amounts of calories, protein, carbohydrates, fat, sugar, sodium, and fiber. On paper, the diets appear surprisingly similar, yet one group begins gaining weight while the other begins losing it. The difference is not a fat-burning ingredient, it is not insulin manipulation, and it is not a special exercise program. The actual explanation reveals the most important principle of fat loss, but first, you need to see how easily food can conceal energy. Consider 500 calories. Every example supplies approximately the same amount of energy, but they produce completely different amounts of food. This property is called energy density, the number of calories contained in each gram of food. And it helps explain what happened inside that laboratory. The study was conducted by researchers at the National Institutes of Health. 20 adults lived inside a metabolic ward and completed both diets for 2 weeks each. They were allowed to eat as much or as little of the provided food as they wanted. During the ultra-processed phase, participants consumed an average of 508 additional calories per day. In only 2 weeks, they gained an average of 0.9 kilograms, approximately 2 pounds. During the unprocessed phase, the same participants lost an average of 0.9 kilograms. The diets offered were matched for several major nutrients, but the participants ate the ultra-processed meals more quickly and consumed considerably more energy before stopping. That is the first major lesson. Foods do not need to contain a mysterious, fat-producing chemical to promote weight gain. They only need to make consuming excess energy sufficiently easy. And now we can reveal the condition that determines whether stored body fat increases or decreases. To lose body fat, you must maintain a calorie deficit. A calorie deficit occurs when your body expends more energy than it receives from food. If your body expends approximately 2,500 calories per day, but you consume 2,100, it must compensate for the missing 400 calories. Part of that energy can come from triglycerides stored inside your fat cells. This is not one possible fat loss method. It is the one and only physiological condition required for fat loss. A ketogenic diet can create it. A low-fat diet can create it. Intermittent fasting can create it. But none of these approaches causes meaningful fat loss when total energy intake consistently matches or exceeds expenditure. In a 12-month randomized trial involving 609 adults, researchers found no significant difference in weight loss between a healthy low-carbohydrate diet and a healthy low-fat diet. This does not mean the diets were identical in every health effect or equally suitable for every person. It means neither macronutrient strategy possessed a unique weight loss advantage strong enough to produce a significant difference in that trial. The useful diet is the one that allows you to control energy intake consistently. So, how large should your deficit be? A practical starting point is approximately 10 to 20% below maintenance. If you maintain your weight at around 2,500 calories, begin between approximately 2,000 and 2,250 calories. For many people, this creates a deficit of roughly 300 to 500 calories per day. A meta-analysis examining resistance training during energy restriction found that an average deficit of approximately 500 calories per day prevented gains in lean mass across the included studies, although strength could still improve. Beginners and people with more stored body fat may still gain muscle in a similar deficit. But as the energy shortage becomes larger, building or preserving lean tissue generally becomes more difficult. A sensible target is to lose approximately 0.5 to 1% of body weight per week. For a 200-pound person, that is approximately 1 to 2 pounds per week. People who are already relatively lean should generally stay near the slower end. Now comes the part where most people unknowingly ruin the calculation. Maintenance calorie calculators are estimates. They cannot directly measure your metabolism, exercise expenditure, or unconscious daily movement. Use one to establish an initial target, then test it against real data. Weigh yourself every morning after using the bathroom and before eating. At the end of the week, calculate your average. Never judge fat loss from one day. Changes in water, sodium, glycogen, digestion, and training-related inflammation can move the scale by several pounds without representing an equivalent change in body fat. Compare weekly averages over at least 2 to 3 weeks. If your average weight and waist measurement decrease, the deficit is working. If neither measurement changes for several weeks, your average deficit is insufficient. This is where people often claim they are eating very little but still cannot lose fat. Human beings are simply poor at estimating food intake. In a study using doubly labeled water, successful weight loss maintainers underreported their food intake by a median of approximately 605 calories per day. Restaurant meals may use large quantities of oil, butter, and sauces that are difficult to see. Then there is the weekend. Maintaining a 400-calorie deficit from Monday through Friday creates a weekly deficit of 2,000 calories. Eating 1,000 calories above maintenance on Saturday and again on Sunday eliminates it completely. Your metabolism does not restart every Monday. This is why high-volume, lower-energy density foods are so useful. They do not violate energy balance, they help you control it. In one large dietary intervention, participants who made the greatest reduction in dietary energy density lost an average of 5.9 kilograms over 6 months. Those who made the smallest reduction lost 2.4 kilograms. The group making the largest reduction actually increased the physical weight of food they ate by approximately 300 grams per day, while reducing energy intake by roughly 500 calories. They ate more food by weight while consuming less energy. That is the practical advantage of building meals around lean meat, fish, low-fat dairy, potatoes, fruit, vegetables, oatmeal, beans, and lentils. Compare two hypothetical 600-calorie meals. The first contains a large chicken breast, potatoes, and a substantial serving of vegetables. The second contains chips, a sweetened drink, and a small dessert. Both provide approximately 600 calories. But the first generally provides more protein, fiber, water, and chewing time. It occupies more space in the stomach and is likely to control hunger longer. This does not mean you can never eat processed food. Processing exists on a spectrum, and some processed foods, such as whey protein, Greek yogurt, or frozen vegetables, can be useful. The relevant problem is a diet dominated by highly energy-dense foods that are rapidly eaten and easy to overconsume. Next, set your protein intake. When you lose weight, you do not want all of that weight to come from a mixture of fat and muscle. A major meta-analysis found that the average muscle-building benefit of protein during resistance training plateaued around 1.6 grams per kilogram per day. That equals approximately 0.7 grams per pound. During a calorie deficit, a practical target is approximately 0.7 to 1 gram per pound. 1 gram per pound is not a magical minimum. It is a simple upper target that provides a buffer. If you have substantial excess body weight, use your goal weight instead. A person weighing 280 pounds with a goal weight of 190 could target approximately 135 to 190 grams. A 2024 meta-analysis covering 47 studies and 3,218 adults with overweight or obesity found that higher protein intake significantly improved muscle retention during weight loss, but protein still contains calories. Adding 3 protein shakes to your existing diet does not assist fat loss if those calories eliminate your deficit. Resistance training provides the other muscle-preserving signal. Its main purpose is not to burn enormous numbers of calories. Its purpose is to tell your body that its muscle tissue remains necessary. A major review found that resistance training reduced lean mass loss during weight loss interventions by approximately 0.8 kilograms. If you currently have little muscle and are new to lifting, you may even build muscle while losing fat. Train each major muscle group approximately twice per week. 3 full-body sessions can accomplish this. Use basic pushing, pulling, squatting, and hip hinge movements. Perform challenging sets and gradually add repetitions or resistance. Cardio can increase energy expenditure, but do not blindly trust the calorie number on a watch or treadmill. Treat it as an estimate. Your weight and waist trends provide better evidence of whether the complete plan is working. Finally, sleep approximately 7 to 9 hours when possible. Controlled research has found that sleep restriction during a calorie-restricted diet can reduce the proportion of weight lost from fat. Sleep does not replace the calorie deficit, but it affects hunger, performance, recovery, and the quality of the weight you lose. Here's the complete method. Estimate your maintenance calories. Begin approximately 10 to 20% below them. Construct most meals from high-volume, protein, and fiber-rich foods. Consume approximately 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound. Resistance train, remain active, and track your 7-day average weight and waist circumference. If neither measurement changes for 2 to 3 weeks, reduce daily intake by approximately 100 to 200 calories, or increase activity slightly, then measure again. No individual food melts body fat. No supplement can replace an absent calorie deficit. And eating healthy food does not guarantee fat loss if the total energy intake remains too high. The real advantage of whole and minimally processed foods is not that their calories stop counting. It is that they allow you to consume substantially more food, control hunger, and maintain the calorie deficit that causes stored body fat to decrease.